Hello everybody, this is Cyril Gupta, the Jeet guy, and today I want to demonstrate something really revolutionary. It's Penguin Recovery Jeet, a new software from me which will help you get rid of the dreaded penguin penalty from Google. We've all heard stories of the time when it was very easy to rank any page. Just build a massive number of backlinks and that was it. That changed when Google imposed the penguin penalty and millions of websites lost their rankings, and the marketers, well, they lost their businesses and their livelihoods. But that's going to change with this software. It's a lifeline if your website was affected by penguin, or if you're starting a new site, it's the guarantee that you will be able to keep the bad backlinks from dragging down your website rankings. What it does is identify all the toxic or the bad quality backlinks that are pointing to your site and destroying it. Then it lets you create a disavow file that you can submit to Google, and Google will stop using those backlinks for your site. Which means your website will get the positive influence of good quality backlinks only, and it will go up in rankings very fast. This software is 100% automated but still lets you control everything. Let's see the demo and find out what this monster can do. To get started, you need to tell Penguin Recovery Jeet which website you want to fix. You must be the owner of this website, or if you're doing it for somebody else, then you should have access to it. We can type in the domain name here without the HTTP, or if we worked with the website earlier, then it will be listed in the earlier sites box and we can just click on it. When you're done, click on Next. Alright, so if you've worked with the domain earlier, you might have some data left from that time, and that's the best thing about Penguin Recovery Jeet. It's completely resumable. For example, if you need to analyze 1,000 domains, that can take a lot of time. You can work in Penguin Recovery Jeet for as long as you want, stop the operation anytime, and come back and resume right where you stopped. This is why PRJ is asking me if I want to work with the data I have from earlier. Since I want to show it off from scratch, I'm going to click No. Penguin Recovery Jeet needs backlinks to analyze. At the most basic level, you can get the backlinks pointing to your site for free from Google. If you're analyzing someone else's site, or if you want even more backlinks, you can get them from a third-party website like Majestic SEO or ahrefs.com. Penguin Recovery Jeet supports all of these sources. For our demo, let's get the backlinks automatically from Google Webmasters. For that, we'll click on the Get from Google button over here. Of course, you can also get the backlinks from a file containing all the links, and to do that, you need to click on the Load Backlinks button that's right here. But this time, let's get them directly from Google, and for that, let's click on the Get from Google button. This will show you a screen which explains how exactly PRJ is going to collect the backlinks for you. It's going to get them from Google Webmasters. You will need to log into your Google account and make sure the site's added to your Google Webmaster account for this to happen. For this demo, I've already logged into Google Webmasters, and we won't have to enter the password again. To begin collecting the linking domains, just click on the Begin Now button over here, and that will load up a new browser window. Inbuilt in PRJ, it will automatically go to Google Webmasters, load up the relevant pages, and harvest the list of domains linking to your site. So in a matter of seconds, it harvested 999 domains which are linking to my site, which are giving me backlinks. And of course, you can also see that it tells you exactly how many links are coming to you from that site and how many pages on that site are linking to your website. All of this information is available in Google Webmasters, which Penguin Recovery Jeet harvests automatically. So you can actually scroll through, or you can sort it whatever way you want it, and you can already start analyzing what are the good websites, what are the toxic websites, and it will give you a pretty good insight into which sites are linking the most to you and which sites are linking the least to you. So it can also serve as a pretty good analysis tool to build your backlinks strategy. Alright, so now that we have a list of all the linking domains, we can scroll through them a bit, see if there's any website that we recognize that we know is really good. We know that we don't have to analyze it because any link coming from it is golden already. So we will just remove these websites from the analysis because we don't need to spend any time analyzing good websites. For example, take a look here, yahoo.com. Yahoo.com is definitely awesome, and any link coming to you from yahoo.com is a good quality link. You don't need to worry about it being a bad quality link, it being a toxic link, so you can just uncheck it. Similarly, blogspot.com or youtube.com, you know these websites are really good, they're highly ranked in Google. You don't need to uncheck them. You can safely keep them checked, and any link coming to your website will be good quality links, so you don't need to worry about it. So you can just scroll through this and find out all the domains that you don't want to check, or mark all the domains that you need to check by checking or unchecking the little checkbox, the little tick box over here. But for our demo, since we are going to try and make sure that we finish within a reasonable time, I'm going to unselect all of the domains and just select a couple so that we know we are checking some domains, but we don't need to check all the domains because the analysis, of course, takes time. So when you're done selecting what backlinking websites you want to analyze, click on the next button, and PRJ will bring you to the screen where you can decide what kind of checks do you want to run on the websites. Penguin Recovery Jeet is the most comprehensive Penguin analysis tool out there, and you can run 13 checks on just the domain alone. The more checks you run, the more accurately Penguin Recovery Jeet identifies the toxic domains. So usually I just leave all the boxes checked. Unless you're doing some research and are looking for some specialized data, you might want to do the same. But I want to really emphasize over here, PRJ gives you the complete control. You can go with the default settings if you want PRJ to do everything, or if you want to be in control, you can decide exactly what parameter is checked. That's why it works perfectly for both newbies and also the veteran SEO masters. So when you're satisfied with the settings you're working with, just click on next. Penguin Recovery Jeet will start analyzing the backlinks now. It's a workflow system that works step by step, and I'm sure by now you realize how simple it is. You are not overwhelmed by mysterious boxes and settings. PRJ shows you exactly what it's doing and explains to you how it's going to happen, so you won't be stuck for answers. Let's do our domain analysis. Let's click on the Begin Now button over here. PRJ will pick up each domain, subject it to a battery of tests, and collect all the relevant data. It does this in the background, eating up minimal system resources and keeping your computer free for other work. And at the same time, it is multi-threaded and uses all the cores in your processor to complete its analysis as quickly as possible. When it's done, it will show you the results of the analysis. You will see the domain names, what is the action prescribed by Penguin Recovery Jeet. It can tell you that you need to check each backlink from this domain, or if the domain is safe, it will mark it as a safe site, which you don't need to check at all. Or if the domain is found to be toxic, the entire domain is found to be toxic, which can happen pretty often, then Penguin Recovery Jeet will tell you to disavow the entire site. So whatever action you need to take, Penguin Recovery Jeet will make the default choice for you. But if you want, again, you can change it. You can set whatever you want just by clicking on action and taking the action that you want. So if you see a website that is suspicious and Penguin Recovery Jeet is telling you to check the links, you can ask PRJ to disavow this complete site without checking each link separately. So it's on you. whether you want to go with a default prescription or if you want to change anything that PRJ tells you to. And it also gives you a number of data points, a good analysis that you can use to make up your mind to do your own analysis about the quality of this domain. Let me quickly explain to you what each column represents. So the links column will actually tell you how many links are pointing to your website from this domain. So you can see that in this particular case, all of these domains are sending me 6 backlinks each. Next, we have the age of the domain. How old is this domain? If you find that the domain is pretty old, like this one, which is like 11 years old, you know it should be a safe website. It's been around for a long time. It's very unlikely that it's a spam site or it's a bad quality site. So you can actually mark it safe and you don't need to check it at all. Then you will, of course, you'll get all the data, like this is 11 years old, this is 3 years old, this is 9 years old, for all the websites that you work with. Penguin Recovery Jeet will also tell you how many backlinks does this particular site have pointing to it. So you will know that the more backlinks that are pointing to this site, the more popular it is, the more established it is. For example, in this particular case, the site Janmakundali Hindi Free or whatever it's called has only 133 backlinks. So you know that this site can be very popular. It can be around for a long time. It must be a pretty low powered domain. But this site over here, anybodydhere.net, has 800,000 backlinks, which means it should be pretty well established. It should be very popular, and you don't really need to worry about whether this cold site is really a spam site or not, right? So these sort of analysis can help you make up your own mind. Then it will tell you whether this site is blacklisted on Google or on any of the blacklists on the internet. So it will check the site against the blacklist, and if it is blacklisted, it will mark it here. And definitely you should not have any links pointing to your site from a blacklisted site. Then it will give you the page rank for these domains. So you will see exactly what is the page rank, and if the page rank is really high, you'll know already that you don't need to worry about the quality of the link, because a high page rank means a high quality link. So in our case, we can we can even sort by any of the headers. Of course, as I told you, everything in Penguin Recovery Jeet is pretty intuitive. So I can sort by the page rank, and I can see that if any site has a low page rank, I really don't want a link from it. I can disavow it if I want, especially the PR0 sites. You know, those sites are penalized by Google. That's why they are PR0. Either these sites are very new, the PR0 sites, or they are penalized by Google. So you can do a cross analysis using age and PR. Of course, Penguin Recovery Jeet also does that automatically, but you can do your own analysis if you want, and you can relate these two and find out if a site should be sending you a backlink or if it is a toxic site. Next, it will tell you exactly how many pages are indexed in Google from that site. So we can see, for example, anybodydhere.net has 340,000 pages indexed in Google, which means it's a very popular site. But Janmakundali, whatever it is, has only 194 pages. And then you can see the exact IP address of this site, and if you sort by IP, you can actually identify which sites are hosted on the same server, which sites are hosted on the same VPS account or anything, which sites are related, which can help you identify and remove things like blog networks or network sites that are just sending you bad quality links from a number of different websites which are really toxic to you. As I said earlier, Penguin Recovery Jeet does that automatically too. Then it also tells you whether this domain is marked as a malicious domain, because if a domain is marked as a malicious domain, any backlink pointing to you will be toxic. So PRJ does that analysis too. It finds out the domain status and whether it's malicious or not. It also discovers the registrant name, and it will mark all the websites. It will analyze all the websites that are owned by the same person, and if any of those websites are found toxic, it will alert you. It will tell you that all these other websites need to be checked too. Similarly, it also checks the name server, which again helps you find out all the bad domains that are working together, all the blog networks and things like that. And then you have the site up, if the site is working or not. If the site is not working, you don't need a backlink from it. You need a backlink only from the working sites. Then it tells you whether the site has an entry in Wikipedia or not. Wikipedia is manually managed encyclopedia, online encyclopedia, and if a site has a link from Wikipedia, it is usually a pretty high quality site and you don't need to worry about it. The last option tells you whether you have a site-wide link on that website. Any site that gives you a site-wide link is actually giving you a toxic backlink, and you need to get rid of it, because site-wide links can be pretty unhealthy, and PRJ analyzes that too. So you can actually sort by all the headers, by any of the headers that you want. You can do your own analysis, and once you're satisfied, you can either accept PRJ's recommendations, which are usually pretty good, because PRJ runs through a special logic that I formulated after a lot of study, after a lot of work, and it identifies all the bad sites pretty successfully. But if you want to change any of the data that PRJ has collected, if you want to change any of the default recommendations, you can always do that. So once you're done, click on the next button. And it's time now to collect each backlink that is coming to you from all the linking domains and test them for toxicity. Test them to find out whether they're poisonous and they're sending your page rank down, sending your Google rankings down or not. Again, PRJ subjects each backlink to a number of tests, each page to a number of tests. It will test whether the page has too many outgoing links, which makes it toxic, and which says that it's a blog network or a spam site. It will find out if you are not ranking for the keyword that the page is sending you the link for, which means that it's sending you a toxic link. There is a pretty good guarantee, pretty good pretty assured chances of that. It will identify it will check all the links. It will identify all the links which are not ranking for you, all the keywords which are not ranking for you, even though you have a backlink coming to you for them. Then it will find out if a URL is blacklisted or not. If a URL is blacklisted, you don't want to be on that page. It will also find out if a particular page has too many money keywords, which means it's spammy, and Google will definitely downrank it, and any backlinks coming from that page will be of lower value. And then it will also give you the option to mark a website as safe if 30% of the links are bad. Sorry, I mean to say, it will let you mark a website as bad if 30% of the backlinks coming to your site are bad from it out of the first 100, which means if out of 100, 30 backlinks are really toxic, it means the website is not good quality, and you should definitely mark all the links coming from that site as toxic. And the next option is just the reverse. If it finds that the first 100 links are good from a website, suppose you're analyzing a website that is sending you 150 or 200 backlinks. Maybe it's a forum where you created a lot of backlinks on. So it will actually mark it all. It will actually mark all the backlinks as good if the first 100 are found to be safe. This is to save you time. This is to make sure that your analysis is as fast as possible. So once you're satisfied with the settings, of course, you can go with the defaults. You can leave all the boxes unchecked, which I recommend. But once you're satisfied, you can click on the Begin Now button, and PRJ will start collecting your backlink data from google.com. And it does this automatically. You don't need to click on anything. You don't need to go to any website. PRJ will automatically collect all your data. And once that's done, it will show you the button which will actually check and analyze the backlinks for toxicity. and you just need to click on begin now. Now PRJ is checking each backlink from the websites that you marked for checking, and the backlinks are subjected to the battery of tests that I told you about earlier. This will take some time depending on how many links you're checking. If you want to break this process, you can click on stop, and when you come back it will resume from right where it left. So PRJ is very user friendly. It's very intelligent. It makes sure that you don't lose your work no matter where you stop working. So this might take a minute or so to check the links that we collected. And now PRJ has finished analyzing each page that is linking to your website, each backlink that's linking to your website, and it gives you a list of all the data it finds. So it will give you, it will tell you what link is pointing to your site. If you want, you can go to the web browser, visit the backlink, see the page, see if it's a good quality page. It'll also tell you how many outlinks are there from that web page, how many links are pointing outside the website, how many money keywords are being targeted, how many keywords are money keywords, and if there are too many money keywords, it's a toxic link, of course. And it'll tell you whether the page is blacklisted or not, whether the domain that it is linking from is safe or not, whether you're ranking for the keyword, which is very important. And finally, based on all this data, on all this analysis, it will give you a recommendation which will tell you whether the link is safe or not. In our test, all the links that we checked were found safe, but if any link is found to be toxic, it will be marked red and it will say toxic link. Again, PRJ puts you in total control. It does its own analysis, it presents all the data, but if you disagree with it, if you think that the analysis should be something else, you can always change it. You can always mark it as something different. So PRJ is as flexible as you want it to be, as manual as you want it to be, or as automatic as you want it to be. Once you're done, we'll go on to the final step. So this is where it all comes together. You can generate a disavow file which you can submit to Google Webmasters and get rid of your toxic backlinks. And you can also create reports which you can open in MS Excel, which will give you all the data that PRJ has collected about all the domains that you have tested and the backlinks that you've tested. You will get all the data like the page rank of the domain, the age of the domain, and all the other data points that I displayed, that I showed you just a little while ago. Similarly, for the backlinks, you will get to know whether the backlink has outgoing links, how many outgoing links it has, how many money links it has, and all the other information that PRJ was able to collect for that particular backlink, for that particular page. If you are working for somebody else, if you are trying to sell your Penguin recovery services, you can do so, and you can actually send the reports generated over here using the domains review report and the backlinks review report button to create files that can be opened in MS Excel containing the analysis you did, and your client can see those files and understand what you have done, how you have come to the conclusion. Alright, so let's go and click a disavow file now. Let's click on the generate disavow file button and let's call our file disavow.txt. So I already have a file by that name, so I'm gonna overwrite it. Alright, that's done. So for the analysis that we've done, this is the final disavow file that we've created. It has the links, the backlinks that are toxic, and we can submit them to Google, webmasters.google.com, to tell Google that these links should not be considered in ranking our website. And once Google analyzes that, it will use this data to make sure that the impact of these toxic backlinks is not on your site, and you are ranking better and better again for the keywords that you're targeting. So this is how powerful and simple Penguin Recovery Jeet is, and this is what it can do for you. Step by step, you can see the analysis that it does. You can see all the parameters that it uses to make sure you get the best analysis for link toxicity, for domain toxicity. and you'll be able to get rid of all the toxic domains that are hurting your website.